Welcome to my back patio. In today's video, I want to start the process of cleaning up this patio and making it over into a Victorian-inspired space. I didn't have this project necessarily on my to-do list this year. Um, One of my goals for the year is to spend more time outside, and I did my front yard little like front patio front area shade garden a few videos ago, and that was really fun. And I've so much enjoyed going out there every day, checking on the plants, watering them, and it just kind of rolled over into the backyard. The extra astilbe and begonias that I planted in my video for shade gardening, and also that little elephant ear right there, I planted those in that little area next to the patio, and that kind of kicked off my desire to want to remake this space. And when I thought about how I wanted it to look, I really want it to be like a Victorian garden. I love that style, the wrought iron, the plants, and I kind of already have a good space going with as shaded as my backyard is. So I'm going to lean into that, pick shade loving plants, and try to remake my patio as close as I can to a Victorian inspired garden on an extreme budget. So I don't plan on buying anything big or new. I want to remake my patio set, like refresh it to be kind of more Victorian inspired, and refresh my umbrella and kind of just refurbish things rather than buying a whole bunch of new stuff. So let's take a look at the different. So I have my patio stretches the entire length of the house. So that's a really big plus. But right now it's just kind of a hodgepodge, and I want to kind of lay out my plan. The sun is just starting to come over the house. It is 9:49 in the morning. So that's, hopefully you can kind of see past this big sun area. But so this area is like an elevated patio area we've never really utilized. I have put chairs here before that we never sat in. The screens have not always been there. They were in this little shed thing over here that you might have seen in previous videos. I don't know why I even took them out. So, but these obviously have to go. Not going to be Victorian inspired with these screens sitting here. Um, and these little greenhouse frames are also going to go. I just have them here for now while the seeds that I planted, the wildflower seeds, were sprouting so critters don't get in there and eat them or dig through and mess them up. Patio set here for, I think, pretty much since we moved in. And just for lack of a better idea of where to put it. And then our grill and our smoker are down there. And also lack of ideas of where else to put them. Down there is usually where I keep plants like that are going to be outside. So I have some aloe plants there. You probably can't tell that they're aloe right now because they look horrible. We're going to deal with that later on as well. But as far as the plan goes, I want to turn this area into the cozy seating area. And it's a little bit counterintuitive from what I would have imagined. So this door goes into the kitchen. So when we first moved in, I kind of imagined this area being the grilling area, because you go out of the kitchen and you go into the cooking area outside, and the seating area being down there. But in terms of intuitiveness, hopefully the air conditioner is not too loud. But because this area is the living room, so it makes sense to come out of the living room and go into like a cozy seating area here. However, the air conditioner is really the biggest problem here. It's right off the living room, which it's also very loud in the living room when it comes on. You've probably heard it in my previous videos. We currently have an issue with the drain from the air conditioner draining across the patio because the drain itself got clogged. And instead of unclogging it or trying to fix it, when we put in a maintenance request about it, they basically just let it drain onto the concrete rather than going down a pipe and draining out somewhere. So I'm going to fix that as well. And so that's why I think down here should be the cooking area and up there should be the cozy seating. We got this patio set like I think maybe 2020 or 2021, and it was a budget option when we got it, but it's still in really good shape. The frames are really good. The actual like seating, the that part's really good. I like the table and it's a good size, but I want to refresh it to look more Victorian. And so I have some spray paint. And then the other thing, the other big thing that I want to do is decouple the umbrella from the table. So at our previous home, we lived in a townhouse that had a very small deck. And so this was the space saving option in addition to the budget option. And we didn't really have room to have the umbrella somewhere else other than with the table. So the base that we have is meant to be used with a table. So you put the umbrella in, it's not tall enough to actually hold the umbrella up on its own. So you have to put it with a table to keep it like upright. So I have thrifted some umbrella stands, multiple, because I have some other plans for the other ones. So we're gonna, in this video today, we're gonna clean the patio because obviously there's leaves everywhere. The concrete itself is really dirty. I very strongly considered power washing the patio. We don't own a power washer, so I was looking into renting one. And for it to be worth it budget wise, we would have to rent it for like 4 hours and hope that we could get it all done in 4 hours. Because if you rent it for longer, then you might as well pay someone to do it. And it's like I could just clean this myself. So I'm gonna get out the first of all, blow off the leaves. Second of all, deck brush it with some soap and water and rinse it off. It doesn't have to be perfect, just better. And then we also need to wash the table and chairs to get them ready for spray paint. And I also want to pot up some of the shade plants that I have. So the aloe for sure. Let's go look at the aloe. So my aloe plants, these were big, beautiful aloe plants that the fall before last, I really should have repotted and taken off the babies. And I didn't because we were moving at the time. So I just never got around to it. So this is big aloe plants with lots of babies around. And I just need to repot it. I need to like take out the big plants and remove the babies, pot those up into their own. I'm not going to be able to save all of them, but it just like it doesn't look good. And these big aloe plants have been in these pots for several years at this point. I think maybe 4 or 5 years. I got this fern from Walmart. It was marked down to $5 because I think because it has some little brown spots, like they either put it somewhere where it was too sunny or they didn't water it enough, but it was marked down to $5. So I thought that was great. I love ferns. I think they're super Victorian. They give that vibe, I think, and I love their lacy foliage. And then I got this hosta as well. I got these planters from Michael's. The terracotta one is $5, like that's their price for an 8-inch terracotta pot. And then the urn style one I got on 60% off, so it was like $14. So this planter was in my front yard for the last year because I was going to try to grow food in it, and my front yard is just not sunny enough. So I moved this back here thinking that it would get more sun in this specific spot, and it does not. And so I decided that I want to put it on the patio, like under my kitchen window. So this is my kitchen window. Ignore the mess. You can see my little flowers I have set up here right now. And when I look out the window currently, I see the grill and half the patio set. So I want to put that big planter here and plant some more shade plants. So when I look out the window, I can see that. And I'm hoping to be able to plant herbs like cilantro that typically bolt in the heat because my patio does get dappled sun in the afternoon. So once the sun comes over the house, then the patio will get like dappled light. Here, I'll show the trees. So it will get dappled light and hopefully enough sun for some shade plants and some herbs like cilantro. So hopefully I've explained the zones that I have in my head correctly. This is going to be where where the patio set will move to be the cozy seating area, I'm going to get an outdoor rug, hopefully find some more shade plants. And then I've actually ordered some jasmine, star jasmine, which is not a true jasmine, I've learned in my Googling and research. Um, Plant some vining plants here. I got some trellises for that. And then this area is going to be shade garden as well with that big rectangular planter. And I also got some rocking chairs. Um, Rocking chairs are not Victorian, I don't think, at least not in the Pinterest inspiration pictures, but they are black. And I got them on a extremely good sale. So um, their Pollywood rockers are typically like $300 a piece, but I got them in a charity sale for $100 each, and they're brand new. So I'm picking those up tomorrow, and I'll have to put them together and like set them up in the next video. Um, so garden area, some more seating here, and then down there is going to be the cooking area. So the smoker and the grill will have to go down there for storage and kind of just be out of the way, so that the rest, this like the bulk of the patio, 2/3 of it will be garden, shade garden, cozy seating, and just more relaxing. I think first I need to put on clothes that are good for cleaning, because I need to blow off this porch, blow off the leaves, and get ready to start actually scrubbing it with a deck brush. And I need to measure for the pipe of what I need to fix the little river we have over here, because I feel like it's kind of pointless to clean it up, and then for it to just keep draining and draining and draining there. So I got a lot of work to do today, and oh, so that's just cleaning the patio. I also need to wash the patio set and get it ready for paint. So I think order of operations is going to be wash the set while it dries, get the patio ready, kind of like flip flop between, because once I start spray painting, it'll also need to dry. So it'll be a good like clean the patio while this is drying and go back and forth a little bit. But I need to change my clothes into something better for cleaning. So let's get started. Okay, I think the first order of business is to clear off this area, because I have to stretch my hose from the front yard, and this is the best place for it to reach. So I can clear this off, move the patio set here to wash, and then move on to the next step. Another problem that I wasn't even going to mention, because it wasn't raining today, but a problem with the seating area being in this over here, because this patio isn't level. So water like pools right here, like it's running off the higher area, and then it's just gonna stop right there and make a puddle. So that's also one of the reasons why I didn't like the seating area there, because if it has recently rained, then it's just like a giant puddle right there. But now, because this is already wet, it's a good time while that stuff dries to go ahead and start cleaning the patio. Before I start cleaning the patio, I think it'd be a good time to measure the pipe that I need for this and go ahead and go get it so that this little stream can stop being there, because it's just going to keep getting worse. So, from what I've seen so far on the hardware store website, is a typical PVC pipe is 10 feet. Well, 10 feet is not the distance between here, the pipe, the drain, and where I need the water to drain to. So, because I also need to make the, like, cover the rest of the distance between here and here, and then have a little elbow, and I really need to have it up against the house so that it's not a tripping hazard coming out of the door. Like, I want it to be flush against the house and then just drain off the side over here. So we might need 2 lengths of pipe and just have extra. So, all right, let me go get that. Okay, I just have to get this little bit extra to go off the side, and it's kind of tucked up here against the lip of the door. So that was super easy. I think even easier than I expected it to be. It was like $12 in materials. I have it kind of elevated on this side so that it encourages the downward flow of the water as it drips and off the side over there. And now I can start cleaning up the patio. And I think I'm going to start with this end so then I can move the grill and the smoker down this way and then keep cleaning. And finally, this little river that's been flowing across the patio for a year can be cleaned up. And I'm also going to clean up this area over here, which is super gross because that's where the water is dripping from. And like all this pollen and everything, I can finally make it nice and clean. So I'm going to listen to an audiobook, and I'm probably going to make this into a time lapse.
I'll take this opportunity to talk about the book that I'm listening to. It's Katabasis by R.F. Kuang, and I really like it so far. After this little project, I'm a little more than halfway through. It's about academic rivals who journey to hell to rescue their professor, and it's very long. It's like 18 hours long, and I'm down to where I have 7 hours left, so a little more than halfway. But I really like it so far. It has the dark academia feel and like pursuing knowledge at all costs, and the complex relationship between the main characters, the 2 people that went to hell. And overall, I'm just a sucker for any kind of depiction of hell, heaven, and like mythology in media. So like the show Lucifer, for example, where it has the devil and his siblings who are angels in like regular life. I love stuff like that. So overall, I'm really enjoying this book, and this project was a fun way to pass the time listening to the book. So highly recommend if you haven't read it yet. It came out a couple years ago, so it's not brand new or anything, but I really like it.
Take off my. So I can't tell if this deck brushing is actually making a difference. I mean, it's still wet, so it looks darker, but there's still a lot of stains from like leaves and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if this is actually doing anything. And if it's not, then I don't want to do it anymore. At least not right now, because it is getting late and I need to start spray painting the furniture if that's going to get done today. So I need to decide if I'm going to do the seat backs and bottoms first and like tape off the metal parts or vice versa. I think I'd rather do the seat backs and bottoms first. So tape off the metal, and then while those dry, I can start on the table. I need to tape off the top and the bottom of the table. So for the backs and bottoms, I'm going to do this Glidden Max Flex exterior fabric and in the color oatmeal. And not to worry, this is a Victorian-inspired makeover. I have plans to make the chairs look more Victorian, but just not in this video because I had to order some stuff that was not going to come in time. Um, so oatmeal for the seat and back, and then for the other parts, I'm going to do the bottom coat in this. Um, it's called Canyon Black. It's a satin, and then the top coat is going to be this hammered because I want it to have like a cast iron kind of look. But this was almost twice the cost of the regular flat, the other black. So I wanted to, instead of doing two coats of this, Nix is enjoying the sunshine while I finished covering the glass on the tabletop. So I've done the top and the bottom. Since it's upside down, I'm just going to go ahead and spray these underside pieces and then probably do a second coat on the chairs while this dries. Okay, so I've covered all the chairs and I flipped over the table and did the top edge, which it's pretty dry. I'm going to move this out of the way so I can spray the chairs. Occurred to me while I was doing the chairs that I could have wrapped a chair, sprayed a chair, wrapped a chair, sprayed a chair, and that way it could have started, but I didn't think about that until I was like wrapping my last chair. So, oh well. Okay, this is very low. I did find this in my stash. I don't know what, it's black. Hopefully it's not super shiny black and doesn't impact the finish, because this is a satin and I'm topping it with the hammered. So it's like a kind of satiny, kind of hammered look. So this is very close to empty. I mentioned that I got 3 umbrella stands. This is one of the 3. The other 2 are gray and they're in pretty good shape, but this one I also wanted to paint. So let's see if I have enough spray paint for that. While that dries, let's look at how the patio turned out, the where I cleaned. So first of all, this is evidence that the water just pools here. I didn't squeegee it off, and now it's just sitting here. But I actually do see a difference between the area that I cleaned and this area that I didn't clean. So I think I will continue on deck brushing and scrubbing um, the patio. It just will not be in today's video because I'm running out of time. I need to edit. So I think I'm gonna have to leave it with the chairs spray painted and the table. I think the table's done. We're gonna unveil it and see what it looks like. Um, I already like it so much better. The gray was very bland, like just fine, like it was blah, but the black really punches it up. I like how black pops against green. So in the greenness of my backyard, I just like how the black really stands out. I'm gonna squeegee this off for sure, so the water just doesn't sit here. But I didn't get around to doing the plants today, and that's okay. I put too much on my plate for everything that I had planned on doing today, and I didn't factor in having to go to the hardware store to get the pipe. I was at Home Depot yesterday, and I forgot to get the pipes. So let's unveil the table, and then I'll see if the chairs are dry enough to also unwrap them. Does this come out? All right, I gotta spray paint this little bit right here. It's very dirty right there too. I'm tired. And I've actually already done an outro that I did not film. So I'm going to try to remember everything I said. I did not get done everything that I wanted to get done today, but I'm very happy with the progress. I love how the table and chairs turned out, even though they're not done. So I mentioned that I wanted to give the table and chairs like a more Victorian look. And what I really want to do is stencil on a design that will kind of give it that Victorian feeling. And what I really wanted was to have a clean slate of like a light beige color to be the base color. And the spray paint just didn't do that after two coats. And I probably could get another can and do two more coats, but I think I'm going to try to use the paint that I'm going to use for the umbrella. Um, and I'm actually kind of glad I didn't get the spray paint for the umbrella because it probably would have taken like four cans. I'm just going to use like an indoor outdoor fabric paint and just paint it on and get like a good solid coat in one go versus multiple layers of spray paint. So I'm going to get some of that in the beige color too to be the base and continue on with that in a future video. I am encouraged by the how the patio turned out with the cleaning. So now I know I can keep cleaning it and then this side of the patio will be clean. Um, this is going to be at least two videos, maybe three, because I still need to plant up the plants. I need to pot these up. Like I have them sitting here like decoratively, but I need to actually pot them. I need to do my aloe. I have some jasmine coming in that I'm going to plant here in pots to be like my little climbing area. I have some trellises. So I normally film on weekends because I have a 9 to 5 job, but this might be one of those projects that I have to do like a little bit every day if I'm going to try to fit it into two videos, but it might end up being three. We'll see. And then the other thing I'm trying to decide is the edging for this little area. It currently has some mossy bricks, some bricks that have obviously been there a very long time as the edging, but I have this little greenhouse frame with the bird netting on it partially to keep the critters out, the birds, the chipmunks, and squirrels from messing up the seedlings that are just growing, but also to keep Nyx out because she will either pee or poop in it, or she will lay in it and smush the plants or dig them up. She likes to dig occasionally. So I want to get some edging that looks like a little wrought iron fence that I've seen, but it won't curve in this like kind of curvy shape that the bed is in. So I need to figure out how I can repurpose the bricks and use them somewhere else. Maybe around a tree because I want to keep the mossy bricks because I love how the moss looks. But overall, excited for how this is going so far. I think the table and chairs already look so much better just in the current set. If I did nothing else, then it looks just so much cleaner and fresher than the gray, the drab gray. And once the umbrella is refreshed, also, I know it will make a big difference. And the other thing, so I mentioned that I got three umbrella stands. The other two I want to use to hold little poles to hold string lights. So not a Victorian thing to have string lights, but whatever, it's still cozy. Because when we in our townhouse before, I had these poles that I had attached. I had like zip tied them to the deck itself to be the stand, but we don't have that. We don't have a like a railing here. So I got the two umbrella stands to hold the poles, and I'm gonna hook the other side of the things to the house. So it'll be like a little square around this little patio area. So much more to do, so much more to buy. My Amazon cart is huge as I'm like adding stuff, deciding if that's what I want, looking at more stuff. The one thing I know I have decided on for sure is the rug, which that's going to be a surprise. Very Victorian, in my opinion. But yeah, so if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.